Hello and welcome to the second video in our Juno video magnifier series. Again, this video series is going to be focusing on the Juno video magnifier, and this particular video is going to focus on the on-screen menus. So let's go ahead and get started. Just a quick note about the menus and the icons within this presentation. The screen captured images that are added to this presentation are from the Juno's user guide, and the colorings of these icons from the menu screen here are from the Juno's default settings, and they may look different once you have changed your settings within the Jupyter. Therefore, the icons themselves will always look the same. So a camera icon will always look like a camera, things like that. But the colors and the way they appear might look a little different on your unit depending on how you have your settings adjusted and set up. One of the first things that's important to know is how to open the main menu. This is a two-step process because the first thing we need to do is restore the button bar. And as we have seen, that restore button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen that's available in live mode will bring this button bar up. And this visual is what the button bar will look like once it has been activated. And we'll go over what all of these buttons do, but not just right now. What we're going to focus on is how to get to the main menu. And the main menu button is in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. We're going to press that button to open the main menu of the Juno. This is the way the main menu is laid out. And the first thing we're going to talk about are the things along the top of the main menu area and not necessarily the buttons. On the upper left is the battery status, and there will be a symbol indicating whether it's charged or charging and the status of the battery. In the middle is the name of the menu that you are in. In this case, it's the main menu, but in other cases, it might be another type of menu, and that name may look different or change. In the upper right-hand corner is the clock, and that probably has the correct time in it, especially if when you had initially powered up the unit, you were asked to set the clock, and if you did that, the time is probably correct, but if there's been a time change since or you haven't set it up, the time might not obviously be accurate. The last thing we're going to talk about before we go into the main area is the previous button, which is located in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. That will take you out of this main menu. Now, there are 4 icons, 2 rows of 2 each, in the middle of this screen, and they're organized as follows. In the upper left, we have the File Management icon. In the lower left, underneath that, we have the Brightness icon. In the upper right, we have the Device Information icon, and in the lower right, we're going to have the Settings icon. The Settings icon is what we're going to talk about a little bit here when we get to our next slide. One of the main things that I believe most people will have questions about is how to enable or disable the talking menus. The talking menus can be enabled or disabled in Settings, and we talked about in this last slide how to get to the settings. By default, and we've talked about this before, the talking menus are always turned on. To disable and enable the talking menus is pretty easy. You're going to navigate to the main menu that we talked about before, and from there you're going to open what's called the menu settings, and it's located in the upper right of those 4 icons in the middle of the screen. And this is what it looks like, just a sort of a bubble with lines in it next to a settings gear in that icon. So after that, you're going to activate the talking menus button, which looks like a speech bubble with lines on it. And now you'll get to this screen that's showing here, where you'll just turn that toggle on or off as desired. And when you're done, just press your previous button to back out. So now that we have that out of the way, let's take a look at our live view. When you're using live view, the following on-screen buttons are available in addition to the physical buttons that we talked about in our last video that do not change. And we're going to go through those very quickly here. So on the upper left portion of that screen, again on the screen, it would be right next to or aligned with the power button, is the menu button. The second button below that menu button that's aligned with one of the color mode adjustment buttons there is the speech options. The bottom button in the lower left-hand part of the screen is the button bar, and that kind of collapses where that button bar is. So that will take those menus away so you have more of that live screen to work with. On the upper right-hand part of the screen is your LED on or off. So you can turn that LED light on and off there with that button. And that button is aligned with the screen capture button that we talked about, the physical button in that upper right-hand side. Below that LED button is the reading line mask button, and that button is aligned with the magnification up button on the right side of the screen, and that will activate any readings, lines, or masks, and we'll talk about that in a future section. And on the very bottom of the right-hand side is the focus lock. So let's take a look at the volume and speech rate. If you tap the volume and speech rate button, which is again in that middle area of the left side of the screen, aligned with that color contrast up button, if you press that, it'll display some sliders that we're going to look at a little bit here, and they'll control both the narration of the user interface, like the menus. It'll also control the OCR, how the voice reads the OCR after OCR is done with this device. And the OCR is going to be covered in a little bit of a separate section, but we're going to take a look at how those sliders look here in a sec. So let's take a look at adjusting the volume and speech with the sliders. So after you've activated that volume and speech rate button, you're going to see a set of controls similar to the ones that are on your screen now. And those allow you to adjust the speech rate and the volume. So note that whether or not the menus are speaking, the sliders are adjusted by sliding your finger up and down along the vertical slider. So you don't have to double tap to interact exactly with these sliders just because of the way they are on the screen. They will read the item under your finger when the talking menus are enabled, but you don't need to do any specific kind of gesture. The volume, as you might be able to see, is the left side of the display. And when you're adjusting the volume, the Juno will give you a sound as you adjust to give you an idea of what the volume level would be. If you want to mute the sounds, you can tap the icon in the lower left-hand corner, and that will mute all sounds. Unfortunately, just to keep that in mind, that will disable volume. It will not disable the speaking menus that we just learned how to turn on and off in the settings. So if speaking menus are still on and you think you're turning them off by turning the volume down, that's not going to work because you'll still need to double tap the menus and icons to get them to activate. It's just going to keep the Juno from speaking to you. On the right side is the adjustment of the speed of the speech, and as usual, you have the faster the speed you want, you're going to have it closer to the rabbit, which is on the top of that slider, and the slower you want it to speak, it will be closer to the turtle, which is the bottom of the slider. So that's kind of the universal way that it works. When you're adjusting that speech rate, the Juno is going to announce Juno's new speech rate is set. It'll use the new setting that you have just put in there. So this allows the user to adjust the rate up or down if the default message is hard to understand. And of course, this is really easy to get in and out of. And to get out of this menu, you're going to go ahead and touch that X that is located on the right side next to that, next to your rabbit. Let's see. The next thing we're going to take a look at is the LED lights and toggling those on and off. Proper lighting is really very important when it comes to magnification. And when you capture a quality image, the lighting needs to be relatively bright or at least reasonable. At times, the lighting has to be manually adjusted by adding a light source or taking one away. So this LED light isn't the only option you have. If you have a lamp and you're doing OCR, I highly recommend that. But this section is just talking about enabling and disabling the LED lights. Remember that if the button is not showing, you can tap the button icon bar in the lower left, but in this case it is showing, and we've talked about that it's located in that upper right-hand corner of the screen, and these icons show what the icon will look like. These images will let you know that what it looks like when the LED light is on and when it is off. Please remember that when the device is in self-view, that LED light will automatically be turned off. You cannot turn that light on in self-view. Another part of using a video magnifier that is important is focus. So in any position that you're in, whether it's self-view or spotting or whatever, any of those that we talked about in the previous video, you can tap that screen focus button, the focus lock, to kind of have that turned on and off. If you, at any point, if you're curious or if you think the focus is off, you can tap any part of the picture or object in the viewing window to kind of turn that automatic focus on, regardless of whether that lock is on or off. So that's important to know. The focus lock is located in the lower right-hand corner of the screen when the button bar is activated. Sometimes there are multiple objects in the viewing area of the device, and sometimes, as smart as these devices are, they don't know which device you want to focus in on. So you've got to kind of help it out by pointing out and manually locking focus on an area by tapping it on the screen to let the Juno know, hey, you know what, I really want to focus on this item, and the other stuff can be blurry, I don't care. So this especially is true sometimes when there's an image on a page with text and you want to make sure that that text is a little bit less blurry. Just tap on where the text is showing on your screen, and that should help bring it into a little better focus. And just to give you an idea of what the focus lock looks like when it's enabled or disabled, we've got a couple of these icons captured here. If the focus is locked, the icon is mostly yellow with a sort of a closed in look to it. And if it's unlocked, it's more of a black icon with yellow highlights or the highlights of your choice kind of in there as the unlocked position. The last thing that we're going to look at here is using the reading line or mask. The reading line can help orient the user or assist them in keeping their place when you're reading like a large amount of text or things like that maybe if there's too much on the screen, it bothers the eyes. There's difficulty maintaining a focus. So the reading line and mask toggle button is located in the middle of that right side of the bar. It changes when it's tapped, and the displayed button indicates the line or mask in the cycle, not the mask currently being used. So it sounds silly. So it'll show the next one available. So for example, if you have no reading line or mask that's enabled, that's not the icon that's going to show in that reading line button. It will show the one that is next available. Think of the talking menus in this instance. It's going to tell you what the next thing is. So if you want to move to a no reading line or mask, there's going to be 3 A's in a row with no emphasis on them. If the next reading line or mask you want is to have a line, those 3 A's will have an underline added to them. If you want a mask, that line will be added. There will be a mask on the upper and lower parts of the screen that show the A's on it. So I would definitely experiment with that and see what kinds of view look best to you. But it's definitely one of those things that's highly personalized. I hope this video has been helpful for you. In the next video, we're going to look at more of capturing images and things like that rather than the live mode. If you like what you see, please hit like or subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much and have a great day.